small businesses that are really suffering. A Black Business Initiative says that the unrest and destruction that South Africa saw last week is a crippling blow for these small Black-owned businesses. They've already been facing tougher times because of COVID-19. So let's take a look at the impact on these vulnerable businesses. And of course, this all relates to the so-called township economy. These small businesses operating in townships, and you want a township economy rather than people moving out, buying their goods in other built-up urban areas. That was to the benefit of all. We have spoken to business leaders in recent days saying that maybe the big chains, they can recover quickly, they can move goods from warehouses or other businesses, but the small businesses are often the ones that can't do that, can't build up and are uninsured. To discuss, we're joined by the founder of the South Africa Small and Medium Enterprise Corporation, SASMEC, that's Bradley Tshabalala. Mr. Tshabalala, thank you for being with us tonight. So the problem that's raised, small businesses don't have savings or insurance often. Do we have a sense of how many will or have been wiped out?
Well, I think it's too much, really. And the main problem that we have is that we know that small businesses are so fragile. Also, we have most of our businesses are not insured, and they are so fragile that, especially and sensitive to extreme shocks like we have now. This would mean that hereafter, some of them might not even be able to survive.
Yeah, and livelihoods are at stake, and for those who want to recover, it is a long road if you don't have insurance. You've got to build up by good, basically, again.
Definitely sure. That's what is going to, to happen. And that's actually going to bring much devastation to, our people. And we know that the small business has got a high, absorptive capacity when it comes to employment. But if they are dead, this would mean many people are still going to be out of jobs as well.
So there are plans for more support through the UIF in the form of those TERS payments to help employers who can't pay their staff. Does that affect these sorts of businesses at all?
Oh, definitely, yes. And some of them, you would find that the problem, and the main problem that we have, is that if they are not paid, say, a week or so, it's difficult to pay, the staff. So it's always a problem when it comes to that. And now shocks like this, when people cannot even go to work, and some of them are looted, the ones that are looted already, it's possible and that they might not survive at all. Yeah. This would mean we'll close completely.
But why I bring this up is because I saw some research saying that only 2% of entrepreneurs in townships were able to meet the criteria for the TERS fund, the Temporary Employer-Employee Relief Scheme, which was offered by government and is being offered again. So that's a very low level. It doesn't seem to be helping the businesses that we're talking about.
Yes, I think what is important with us at this point in time is for us to realize that the problem that we have, it has been always there. It's a problem, unemployment has been a ticking bomb. It's it's a time bomb. So this is the time of, it explodes this time. It could be prevented, but we think what has to be done and what is important to us is to provide solutions. What is it that has to be done? And not only that, but it's how, should it be done? You see, the problem now is that we have got shocks, but we can be able to prevent this for future, and also it's, as we have so many unemployed people, what is it that we need to do? Yeah. And it's clear the resolve or the solution is on defusing the time bomb. It has been there from the time of apartheid and impotency for some time, pushing that let's diffuse the time bomb.
So you're talking about inequality. You're talking about unemployment, poverty, basically saying we need a real economic solution.
And also, there are quite a number. We have got to admit that our economy itself is quite deficient. Our economy itself is handicapped. It's handicapped in the sense that the power and the strength of every economy depends or relies on the optimum utilization of all its resources, of which human resource is a principal. But in South Africa, almost 80% of the human resource is marginalized. So it's just, we can say it's just labor, not productive at all. And that's what creates unemployment. Yeah. And also lack of concentration, concentrating our efforts towards building small businesses. Because small businesses are the ones that have a high absorptive capacity when it comes to employment and all that. So we have to develop small business. This would mean government and the people, have to know who has to do what. Because there are things that government can't do. And one of them is to create jobs. Government cannot create jobs outside their, administrative capacity. But what is important is to understand development and the equation of development. That is the highest degree of government's ability to make relevant and the right, policies above, and the highest degree of people, activity on the ground, and the highest degree of integration in between. If we cannot follow that, formula, it's clear we are not going to develop anything, and we will have unemployment as we have it. So it will be a time bomb, and it will explode when it explodes.
Yeah, so you're saying we're still in danger. Very quickly, did xenophobia, this is something that your organization is worried about, did xenophobia feed into the attacks? You heard that some shops were targeted, people were saying, because they don't look after the local community. And I don't know if we've created this narrative around foreign shop owners that they have to be do-gooders. A minister was once saying they should share their information about supply chains. But isn't that unfair to expect business people, just because they're foreigners, to give up their secrets and help everybody? What do you think about that narrative?
No, I think what is important here is for us to be objective and say, to ourselves, all those who participate, remember, our people, especially where we can create jobs, is where people are actually living. This would mean the economic space that they own, they must be assisted there. So what we are saying is that they may not share the secret as such, but it's important that all those who participate within the township economic space, they must actually do so in terms and conditions that build the local economic capacity, not to destroy the local economic capacity. And it's important that also to realize that all the gains and the political, gains we have had, it's through power bargaining. I think, for instance, look at the taxi industry. It's the biggest industry in the hands of black people simply because they have power bargaining. But in the townships, especially in the retail industry, we don't have that economic bargaining. So the participation of all people together, even with the big business, they have got to participate in the form that will actually build, in terms and conditions that will build the local economic capacity.
All right, we have to end it there. Thank you very much, Bradley Tshabalala, founder of the South African Small and Medium Enterprise Corporation, SASMEC.